I'm building a custom motorcycle frame. This is the first time I've done this, and today I'm putting on the steering neck. Alright, so I'm working on the steering neck today. I want to get those gussets figured out and get this stuff welded on. Alright, so the first thing I want to figure out is this for the steering neck, how high is this thing going to be positioned on the frame? And basically I want this thing to be about as low as it can go here. In order to figure out how low it can go, I've got this bearing race. This is what gets pressed into the steering neck. So if I put this thing on here, I can't quite get it, can't quite do it that way because I have to actually press that in order to figure that out. But I can flip it around and that'll give me a good idea about how far this thing sticks out. And then I can get a better idea by looking at it where I want it to be. Yeah, I want to say like right there. So let's mark that. I want it, for my gusset, I'm going to have coming down through here. And I want it to come down and curve, just a little bit of a curve in here. So it has a little bit of style to it. And in order to do that, I want the gusset to hit here, the same spot it hits here. So let's figure out how much space that is. To do that, I'm just going to mark up along the top here. And then we'll measure that line. 5/8 of an inch right there. So we want equivalent on the bottom, 5/8. Flip it around, we'll mark that. So like 5/8, we want it somewhere in there. Then I'm gonna get my a little piece of paper, out like so. Something like that. And 5/8 up into here somewhere. So then we just need to draw a curve between those two. All right, then when I do a curve, I really like to have a reference of some kind, and so I usually like to find something that has a curve on it already, a piece of tube, where I need it to be. See how it lines up, and we'll go from there. Something like that. That would be my slight curve, my little somewhat fancy stylized gusset. All right, now I'm just gonna straighten up my lines here with the actual straight edge. All right, then we'll go ahead and cut this out and then test fit it and see how close we are. There's our template. Let's try it out. All right, stick this guy on here. That looks pretty good, I would say. I'm gonna have one on either side, a gusset on either side, one on the other side as well, and then I'm gonna put a piece of metal in between here and the bottom, so I'll basically be making my own little tube. All right, so now it's time to take our template and fit it up to our piece of flat stock that we're gonna use. And that's just about perfect there. Go ahead, trace this out, and then we'll cut it out. All right, there's one. All right, so now we've got two gusset pieces here that are pretty much exactly the same. All right, so I've got both sides of the gusset here sort of figured out. I've got one set in here and clamped all down, so I get an idea how it's ultimately gonna be. And I do wanna have a fill-in piece that goes in the bottom right here, so that this whole thing is just enclosed, right? And so to figure that out, I'm going to do, again, a rough sketch kind of deal on here. All right, so that's really not much. I'm just gonna figure out the widest part of this thing, and then I'm gonna just cut out a strip that's that long, and then we'll notch one end of the strip here to go around the tubing here. All right, so I've got my little strip cut out here. This should be plenty long enough, longer than I need really. So I'm just gonna start on one end, get my little notch laid out here. Fit around this guy nice, and then so I get that set up in here. Got a piece of 2-inch wide flat stock here that's also 1/8 of an inch thick. I'm just gonna go ahead and trace this out on the template, and we'll go ahead and cut this thing out. All right, now we've got our piece cut out there, a little notch. And now it fits up onto the pipe like that. But now we've got to do this little bend here. Alright, so we got a curve here that fits up to our other curve pretty well. So now what we gotta do is figure out this notch here. So we're gonna start notching this guy until it fits up with that. So in order to get that started, I'm gonna remove this guy, trace out a little pattern on here, and then we'll just start carving back until we get to the right length. Alright, here we are. I finally got a decent fit up on this thing. So that it all sort of lines up the way I like it to. So now it's just a matter of welding this little section in, this sort of box, welding all that stuff in. Alright, so we've got the box part up here welded in. Now I've got to do a bunch of grinding and get this thing looking nice and shiny. Alright, so I'm checking again to make sure my rake up there is where I want it to be at 27 degrees. I've got, again, this table is very handy because I've got these two sort of alignment pieces right here and here. And I've got the same thing over here with the square. I know this is in the same line as the frame. And there's my straight line going up. And now I can check my rake up here. I got my head tube. I'm going to start clamping stuff down. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and first I'm trying to get a little spot weld right there. And another one up on this side as well. So thanks for watching this video. It's a whole video series. We're making a custom Honda Grom here. So that's, if you are really familiar, this is why this frame might look a little small to you. It's because it's going on a small bike. And so this is part of a sort of vintage looking bobber chopper style of a Honda Grom. It's a hardtail we're going to do on this, and it's also going to have a leafer front suspension on it. That is the plan. And so follow along if you like this. There are more videos, and there will be more videos to come. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.